So as we learn together, our flag will be unfurled. We are the people of the Pacific.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZKTV, Pango America Samoa. You are watching KVZKTV Channel 2, Pango American Samoa.
le whaftai le loto ma le anganga i le vaenga mo le mawina le matanongofia o le sisilese. O le awa le lingua ai whongatia ai pau tu avau. O te pai ulo fo i le tae au ina ua la whai pu e manu, ai le o pu e o mala. Tulonga ia le atua ma le pai o ana au auna tofi, i le whatawhai taulanga ma le whatawhai taulanga. Tulonga ia sa moa e amata mai lava i leo sa o tui manua, se ia pa ia le malai a ngalenga tau ilo ai malo. Tulonga le whale ang fulu, tulonga le manua tele, tulonga o le henga, i au pa ia ma mamalu whale atanu. Ai meise lau whainga malo Amerika Samoa tulou, tulonga ia. Ua tau whaisunu i ao o le langi, ai pa ai tafa o le langi masiu o le langi. O tātou tai au fou, tai a manuia i le atua, ma o lea fo i ua mōlia i ta i o, le wha moe sa la vasi. O lea ua tātou fisila whai ai i le awa o whata, e pei o le upu i a sao luanga. Tā lofa lava. Momori atu fo i le anganga o le whaaftai Amerika Samoa. I lau tāpua inga mau a o alo whaiva au auna tautua o lau whainga malo. Whaaftai talo, whaaftai fautua, whaaftai le onsai, whaaftai fo i alo lofa tūlai, tūlanga ese, o la tā sāwalinga, mo se lumanai manuia si o tātou o tenu. Le atanu ue, o loma nei ini isi tūlanga tā ua o le anga i manuia o Amerika Samoa i luma. So fina ngaro whaali a wā lo tā whawai. Ai o le taiala mo le lei o le atanu e ala atu i lana whainga malo. O le upumoni, o lau whainga malo le nei Amerika Samoa. O lau filfilinga i mata upu e awalatu i suinga o lau whainga malo. Sui o le au whainga luenga ma le atunu ua o tau filifilia e whaavai ai le nei fono, o mai ale ngā luenga. Leo atu i tau au, le mamalo le atanu, whai ei so o tau fina ngalo. Ai o le whaavai sa ili tau whai ei mātua, ma o tātou tua. O leo lo tau i nei la ta whainga malo whaatemo kalasi. Peo na sila fia o la ta whaavai sa pasi e le afe iwa se lau ono sifulu. E tauta iei la ta whainga malo, mai a ta tau o tangata nuu o Amerika Samoa. E le whaingo fie le whaafina wina o mata upu, o le whaavai i lona amatanga. Ai langona, o le tau whaasa ili, o le tau whaasa saa, ma le loloto o le silasila o tātou tua. I le lumana i lea o lo tātou malu pui ai nei, folau file mua i nei, ma tautai ai nei le lumanai o Amerika Samoa. I to tonu lava o la tā whaavai, o lo manino ai le silasila mamau, a o tātou tua. Ia whaari ai le finangalo o le mamalu o le atanu, e ala atu i lau pālota i a Novemba i lona sovalu. Pe a sopolia lo o tau soifua, masi o mātou ola. Le tāua o le alofa o le atanu, a wā o la tau si la fia, e mana o mia lava o na whai suinga o la tā whaavai, e fua i suinga o le lalulangi. E se fulu ma le tasi suinga ua uma o na pāsia le fontele, o le whaavai o lea ua tu ina atu, e whai ei se whai unga a le atanu. Le tāua tele o le nei pālota, a wā o le ngata i sau fina ngalo i la tā whaavai, a o lau filfilinga i sui whai tu mālo le mauta sui, le mauta whai tu la fono Amerika Samoa, ai meise le tātou whai pule i le lau mua. I oe le atanu ue, o lo iei isi sui whai pule o i tu malo, mai whapena fo i le whai pule i le lau mua. E leo iei ni isi sui e fia tau wā. Ina nei whaia tūlanga ma mea e le tātou te o ai i le whalepalota. Ona ua na o le tasi lava le sui tauwa. Ma ua malo fua o ia a e ngalo ai lau palota. O la tā whaavai. O le tā whaavai e tai se fulu tausanga ma ilo ilo. O le avano le leile nei le atanu. E whaari ai lau whina ngalo. I le tā whaavai. E ala atu i lau palota i le vai aso a sau. Manuia lau palota ma lau filfilinga. Whaaftai soifua.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZKTV, Pango America Samoa. You are watching KVZKTV Channel 2, Pango American Samoa.
like the customs we call our own, but they seem to gain more importance when you're far away from home. Our people touch the same ocean, though our country is quite unique. So as we share our ocean, it's understanding we seek. We are the people of the Pacific, and we've come from far and wide to share and So as we learn together, our flag will be unfurled. We are the people of the Pacific.
Talofa, olo e mai mo mai le tautua le ala talua le KVZKTV, Pango America Samoa. You are watching KVZKTV Channel 2, Pango American Samoa.
A two-day celebration on the 13th and 14th of April marked the 89th anniversary of the raising of the United States flag on the islands of Tutuila and Manua. 89 years since America became part of the American family. This year's celebration was dedicated to the defenders of freedom, the sons and daughters of Samoa in the United States Armed Services. On day one, schools, church organizations, village groups, sports teams, government and private sector agencies gathered at Pango Park for the flag-raising ceremony and grand parade. Those who couldn't be there watched the live coverage provided by the government-owned television station KVZK or listened to the Flag Day broadcast on the two private radio stations.
And the Associate Judge, Mr. Reese.
Po cho changa mai ole cha vale na chula ole cha vale lava pa jo mai le chupu jonga sa
King Charles IV and Queen Matahau Kingdom of Tonga.
ole cha vale na na mai fa jo mai le malo jonga
Le afiona i le tupu ma le masiofo le malo Tonga.
Arriving is the king and the queen from the Kingdom of Tonga. They brought their special vehicle from Tonga on the ship for them to travel back and forth here on the island. Now they are proceeding up to the grandstand.
o cha vale umana sa fa nga le ang malang mai jonga o tu na ia tu ma o tu no mai le fionga Lieutenant Kovana
Fionga i le sui Kovana o le tātou malo Amerika Samoa. Male Faletua.
Arriving at the Malay here in Ngangamoe is the Lieutenant Governor and Mrs. Ngaleai.
lo fa pe foi fa tsi mai fa tsi mai la ofenga luenga le tua ile famna tuino le asfa na o le valis fului vitu sanga malo America Samoa le tu ato level now lo ala lai ye ulu matanga luenga le tatu malo.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, not only the government officials, all the business communities has been invited to participate here in our celebration today. That is one of the view here in the Malay in Pango. And as you can hear the siren from police cars are coming. So I guess there's more honor guests arriving.
Shortly before 9 o'clock, Governor Peter Tali Coleman and Mrs. Coleman arrived under police escort. Governor Coleman then proceeded to inspect the various honor guards, and he was accompanied by Commissioner of Public Safety Tulefano Baila'a, dressed in traditional attire, and a U.S. Coast Guard officer.
And his lovely wife, Nora, just now arrived here at the Pango Park. The voice you are hearing is the master of ceremony for festivities today. Is Tawala Luavasa.
The arrival of the governor and Mrs. Louis Patali.
Ua taunu mai le fionga le likovana malona faletua. Mai o le tatou prokalama e whapea o le taunu mai le fionga le likovana o le amatalia lava leo le asisinga o le vaenga o leo leo. Ia ma vaenga au o tulanga nei mo le taita inga o le tatou solo le tai ao. Maulo o iai fatasi mo muai le fionga le komisina o lo la ei o ia I ona ei fasa mo to falta matua tu le fano vai la.
As you are now reviewing the arrival of the governor and also the starting of the program, and he's now starting the inspection with the Commissioner of Public Safety.
Oh, Coast Guard. Coast Guard. Ua mai ale asisia o le vaenga o leo leo ua o tunei I le vaenga le Army Reserve.
He's just now finished with the police department and he's now going over to the inspection of the Army Reserve.
Yeah.
He's now through with the Army Reserve and he's over to the JROTC. O le fionga le nā le likovana ua o atu I le JROTC la nā se singa. Hata sei ma le fionga I le komsina o tui le whanu. Le nā ua toi whai mai le asia singa I le mea sa amata tuai. Now the inspection is working its way back where it starts. And he's right in front of the association, schools.
Iol na ua mai o nasi sial tasi vaenga o le Army Reserve. O tuatonu na o le Folenial vaenga o leo leo. Le fionga le likovana, ma le sunga I le komisina o le malo. Ma le sui o le vaenga o le Coast Guard o lo whaia le asi singa le tai ao.
It looks like that is the end of the inspection. And now the Public Safety Commissioner has shown the governor to his assigned place up at the grandstand. All the honored guests.
The Master of Ceremonies for the day festivities was High Talking Chief Tawala Luavasa, Deputy Director of the Office of Samoan Affairs.
Now the program is on its way as we have planned at 9 o'clock here at the park in Pango Pango.
Sunga I le fai feau o la woi mangeo ma o lo taita ia foi nei au foi pese e se tasi o alo ma whanau o le atunu o mawa ele tomai I tūlanga wha musika o le sunga I a Paul Powesi au fai pese a le kalasia a mata alo iai lo tātou sauninga.
Prayers were offered by His Lordship Bishop John Queen Waitsall of the Diocese of Samoa Pango. The choir was from the Congregational Church of Jesus in Pango.
My dear brothers and sisters, we have asked the Lord to bless us on this very special occasion. We have asked the Lord to help us to spend these 2 days with a spirit of love for God and love for each other in a true Christian spirit. We have asked God to bless all of you here present and all of our people. And we offer this day and tomorrow and all that we do to the Father through His Son, Jesus Christ.
Reading of the Flag Day proclamation preceded the raising of the flags.
American government, Pango, American Samoa. Whereas on April 17, 1900, and July 14, 1904, the chiefs of Tutuila and Manua, respectively, by virtue of their offices as the hereditary representatives of the people of these islands, for and on behalf of their people, and duly accredited representative of the government of the United States of America, for and on behalf of said government, enter into agreements of cession whereby the islands of Tutuila, Aunu, and Manua were ceded to the government of the United States of America, with all sovereign rights thereunto belonging, to be annexed to the said government, and to be known and designated as Tutuila and Manua. And whereas the chiefs of Tutuila and Manua, for and on behalf of the people of said islands, agree for themselves, their heirs and representatives by Samoan custom, to owe allegiance to the government of the United States of America. And whereas, in return, the government of the United States agree to establish a good and sound government, protect the traditional rights and property of the Samoan people, and promote the peace and welfare of the people. And whereas, the aforesaid agreements were confirmed by the raising of the flag of the United States at the United States Naval Station Tutuila and Whareula at Ta'u. And whereas the people of American Samoa and the United States of America have adhered faithfully to the purposes and application of the agreement of cession so under. And whereas it is desirable that this occasion of great importance to the governments of both the United States of America and American Samoa should fittingly observe. Now, therefore, in honor of this momentous historical event, I, Peter Tally Coleman, Governor of American Samoa, proclaim the Flag Day will be celebrated on Friday and Saturday, April 14 through 15, 1989, in American Samoa, for the observance of appropriate ceremonies commemorating the raising of the flag of the United States of America, Samoa. I further call on the government and the people of American Samoa to participate in the celebration of their remembrance, in witness whereof I hereby affix my signature and seal of my office on this 5th day of April, 1989, Peter Charlie Coleman, Governor of American Samoa. Ai lei sisina le fua. I le tū ma le masani. E iai o na whātau nū le wha moe moe o le 21 can salute. E tasi le 21 can salute o le a whaia mō fua e lua. Wha mo le mole le Army Reserve i a whātau nū mua le wha moe moe o na alo atu lea mo le sisina o le fua. Captain Ernest Longleo, please. O le au suina le pese o le tātou fua, e le whaletua o salawhai kwaia, whaili e Samoana, whamulmole.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, and the twilight last gleamed, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we walked, were so gallantly streamed, and the gates ran clear, the bombs bursting in there, came through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, see the Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
On behalf of Governor of American Samoa, the Lieutenant Governor, and the people of American Samoa, it is an honor to introduce our distinguished guest. Ua fatasi mai le aso le fua, le fio mai o le tupu ma le masiofo I le malo tonga. We have here with us, in commemorating our Flag Day celebration of 1989, Their Royal Majesty King Taufa'au Te Pou IV and Queen Mataho, King and Queen of Tonga. The Honorable and Mrs. Sir Tangaroa, the Queen's representative in the Cook Islands. Our beloved son, the Honorable Fado Mavaengaeni Hankin, our representative to the Congress of the United States. The Minister of Justice, the Government of Western Samoa, Honorable and Mrs. Le'ataua Vaiao Alailima. Member of the Parliament, Government of American Samoa, Honorable and Mrs. Va'ai Kolone. Representative of the Republic of Nauru, Honorable and Mrs. Kelly Emu. Consul General of the Republic of Nauru in Western Samoa, Honorable Ted Annandale. Australian Consul General to American Samoa, Honorable and Mrs. P. Tisi. New Zealand Consul General to American Samoa, Honorable Richard Martin. French Consul General in Hawaii, Honorable Daniel Trawlers. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Marshall Islands, Honorable and Mrs. Tom Kidner. Minister of Budget, Territorial Benefication of French Polynesia, Honorable Louis Savoy. Minister for Line and Finnish Groups, Republic of Kiribati, Honorable Teki Nahiti Kaitili. Representative of the Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific, Colonel Thomas Woods. Representative of the United States Army Western Command, Colonel Willard J. Moss. United States Coast Guard, Captain and Mrs. Tanos. American Samoa Government Representative in Japan, Mr. Lauli Suzuki. Representing John Wair of Hawaii, Mr. and Mrs. Tihati Thompson.
And local dignitaries included Chief Justice Michael Kruse, House Speaker Tonaktau Tuya, District Governors, Department Directors, church leaders and members of the business community. In his Flag Day address, Governor paid tribute to the sons and daughters of Samoa serving in the U.S. Armed Services.
Today we honor the defenders of freedom, the men and women in the armed forces of the United States, the sons and daughters of American Samoa. Those dedicated Samoans, both today and in the past, have made enormous sacrifices, including giving up one's life so that we might preserve our liberty and our way of life. Most have served thousands of miles away from the land they call home, many in isolated outposts, away from family and friends, away from our lifestyle, culture, and favorite foods. During wartime, some have even sacrificed their lives so that we might remain a free people.
House Speaker Tonai Tautuya on behalf of the American Samoa Legislature.
Today, we reflect and we are reminded of the responsibilities of those who seek to establish or maintain freedom. I strongly believe that freedom is born in strength and its restrained use. That freedom is nurtured by compassion and by considerations for others. That freedom is giving substance by the participation of those willing to work together for the public good, and that freedom endures through the development of wisdom and patience. This society, ladies and gentlemen, has come to us through the dedication, the understanding, the sacrifices of those who preceded us. Let those of us now in a position of leadership accept the challenges of the present, along with the promise of the future, and make certain that this very special place we call home will endure, and with the help of the greatest country of the world, the United States, all trusting in God, will prosper in freedom and in righteousness.
After the final hymn and prayer, the grand parade began. It was led by Mrs. Arieta Pele, the wife of the late Senator Mulitawa Pele Tamoto. Mrs. Mulitawa Pele was chosen as the Grand Marshal in recognition of her many years of service to the government and people of American Samoa. About 5,000 members representing youth organizations, churches, villages, and sports teams passed in review.
Those are the honor cards of the Army Reserve, now passing right in front of the grandstand. Now passing right in front of the grandstand is the Army Reserve. As you know, the theme for today is we honor the defender of freedom, sons and daughters of the armed services. Passing right now is the Rainmaker Band from the village of Aua.
Ole tausanga now Amy Aitui, ole tausanga tasi valuiva America Samoa. Ia ma ole fa'alo na le vaenga Junior ROTC a onga mawalunga I America Samoa.
Junior ROTC from high schools of American Samoa. Now passing right from the governor and the honored guest here at the grandstand. That is the overhead look from the top of the grandstand, looking down to the field where all the schools, the bands, the associations, clubs who are participating in the parade this morning.
Elongo fie ole failonga nala ang maulunga Samoana.
As you can see, that is the seal of Samoana High School.
Su'e matautua whamaoni o le aonga maulunga Samoana lo tūtanga I atu iai ma le ato le malie. O se vaenga lama nao le solo o le whaile le aonga maulunga Samoana so atu ai matumaitai.
That is the Samoana cheerleaders as well as the Samoana band now approaching the grandstand.
O tausanga umalava e sa vali ele fa ili nei lanu moana ma le lanu pae I o lanu na le aonga maulunga sa moana. Ma o lo o so o toi tua ma le la lao le junior ROTC ale nei lava aonga maulunga.
Approaching right behind the band is the junior ROTC of the Samoana High School. High School represented by JROTC Band, National Honor Society, and a senior class. The band is consist of 41 men strong. Instructor is Phil Satele and Sai Malepeai. The National Honor Society is 60 members. They may not all march today due to some other activities. Advisor is Esther Ely.
Ole na wata nuwa tuluma ia tausala neia onga. Ma o tua lo tau tanga ia tu iai, o le ata leo le vaa o le hoku lea, ua whai ngoina o le tai mua, sa manu malo I ngā luenga lea o ngā maununga, sa funa I le tau wanga, mo le NASA Orbital Naming Contest.
Approaching the grandstand, as you can see, is the Fasao High School. This high school is consisted of all girls. In front of the grandstand right is the Maris Brothers School. The grade is from 10, 11, and 9 are marching. The senior class is on an educational encounter to Western Samoa. The students are marching in their house teams, Lupe Lumanai, Samoa Atoa, and the Swinging Aitu. Looks like the village of Amauli is just finishing up and approaching the grandstand. Wives of the members of the Lions Club.
And 17 floats were entered in the floats competition. They came from the Department of Human Resources.
Mai o ni ali fitafita pe tayo ilato o tangata fai ngaluenga o le matanga luenga le Human Resources o lo ngafa malfaso soina o ngaluenga mo tangata fai ngaluenga al malo.
The tourism. The Bank of Hawaii and schools.
Anniversary in American Samoa this year. All but 5 of the 50-member staff are marching, led by their new manager, David Bueller, who replaces Tom Grimes, who has been transferred to Guam.
There was one entry from the Young Women's Christian Association who had traveled here from Western Samoa. And when the final float had passed, the VIPs began leaving the park for the official Flag Day luncheon at the Rainmaker Hotel. But the event that everyone was looking forward to took place after lunch. The international longboat or Fotasi race between the Kingdom of Tonga, Western Samoa and American Samoa. Since their first introduction to this traditionally Samoan sport in 1987, the Tongans had been winning every long race here in Western Samoa and in their own waters. The Samoans were out to defeat the Tongans and return the crown of Fotasi racing back to Samoa. 6 Fotasi lined up at the start of the 5-mile course that Friday afternoon. American Samoa had 3 entries, the Aeto number 3 from Pangopango and the number 2 and number 3 Satani from Nuuli. The Kionasina of Apia was the only entry from Western Samoa. And the Kingdom of Tonga was represented by the Tuivava'o number 2 and the Tui Ha'pai. And the gun goes off. The Satani number 2 is in front of the starting line by a whole boat length. The Tuivava'o spends the first 2 minutes of the race trying to catch up and succeeds. The Tuivava'o leads the pack, but 9 minutes into the race, the Aeto up. Our Fautasi race commentators Henry Sesepasara and Fangfanga Daniel Lankule captured the thrill and excitement that moment brought.
You can see on your screen the crowd that has gathered at the Rainmaker Hotel, hundreds and hundreds of spectators. And we can see from here also at the oil dock in Utule, we have people filling the coastline here in the harbor of Pango Harbor. The Aeto now getting close to the Dog Lake turn, and once they make that turn, it's the final way home, the home stretch.
Mile left. There's 1 more mile left of this race, and the Aeto's still ahead about 4 or 5 boat lengths. The Tuiva Papai is about 6-7 boat lengths behind the Tuiva Vau. And everybody here is yelling and cheering for the Aeto.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can hear the shouts for joy and jubilation from the coastline. People screaming as they see the Aeto approaching the last 100 yards of this race to the finish line. The race in Samoa and in Tonga for the last 2 years, regardless of what boats we have, has been between the Samoas and Tonga. And we must take our hats off this year, right now, to Captain Lealefo Reid and the crew of the Aeto 3 as they cross the finish line in just a couple of seconds and bring the title and the crown of Fautasi Racing back to American Samoa. A big whamalo to the Aeto.
And the Aeto never let up. Skipper Lealefo Reid and his crew did not give the Tuiva Vau a chance. Instead, they continued to widen the Aeto's distance from the Tongan boats and the rest of the pack. And that's how the race ended. The Aeto crossed the finish line about 8 Fautasi lengths in front of the Tuiva Vau. The Tui Hapai placed 3rd, and the Satani 2 finished 4th. The Kionasina placed 5th, and the last Fautasi to cross the finish line was the new Satani. Later on, the Fautasi Race Committee decided to award the Kionasina the cash prize for 4th place and moved the Satani 3rd to 5th because it was in front of the starting line when the race started. Rounding off the events on that first day of the 1989 Flag Day celebration was a spectacular display of Samoan singing and dancing by church youth groups. The presentation was dedicated to the early missionaries who brought the good word to American Samoa. The Methodist youth group was the first to perform.
Lenga luenga paia o le atua le aso o te tatu ekalesia malanga.